address again?
It is twitch.tv/GMTable. And hello,
everyone.
GM Table fans. Here's my character. Okay.
We
At
are
the very last
on...
second, I am him.
Hi guys, hi everyone. We are at live at twitch.tv/GMTable. We are playing our Transformers Savage Worlds game that goes by the name Transformers: The Regenesis Wars. And so we will go ahead. You saw our little intro. We'll go around the table and introduce ourselves. So I'm going to start with Ewan, who is sitting right next to me on the camera, on my screen anyway.
Is that? I can't see your screen. Is that me? On my screen, I'm next to you.
Yeah, no, Ewan.
It is me.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Flip. I play Dr. Tetrabatara. That's my character's name, right? I'm getting confused. Yeah, Dr. Tetrabatara, as I get confused with like the other characters I play on different stuff. But yeah, hi everybody. I'm happy to be here. I will be right back.
I'm Ewan. I play Andrew in this. And it's nice to see you again.
And then we will go to Lyrica.
And there's somebody in chat saying hello to Andy and Ewan.
Oh, hey! Hello!
Hello, I'm Lyrica. If you've been around GM Table a lot, you've probably seen me a lot. I'm in like 4 games right now. Things might be changing soon, but we'll settle out again. I'm sure it'll be fine. In this game, I am playing Kate, who is a small, curious, might as well say child with a boombox that turns into like a mini transformer. And yeah, she gets into trouble by going after anything and everything that she can touch that's mechanical. And trying not to blow it up, although occasionally she will actually do that on purpose. Andy, something about boosting
I got
audio
it.
level? Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Got it.
Hopefully that worked. And so then we have someone who looks a lot like me. You may have noticed that is my twin brother Kurt, who is playing Gale. And I kind of filled him in on where Gale is as well. You don't have to do a full recap because I am going to give someone a Benny based on recaps.
All right. Well, I'm Kurt. This is my first time streaming anything ever. So, hi, anyone that's watching. Gale is sort of a regular guy. He loves a good pun. Pretty southern. He's an RN at the local hospital. Drives a beat-up old truck and has found himself in a bit of a predicament because he made a decision to join a research study that landed him in a bit of a solitary confinement situation. So that's where you'll find me at the start of the game.
You're Gale! Ah!
Yes, he is.
Sorry, I had to. That being said, I
Andy, why?
had to because
Andy.
everything has to be dramatic, or it's just not fun, right?
It has to be dramatic and make connections and make you go ah at the middle. That's the fun part.
You're right.
I'm hoping that I should be excited that you're as excited that I'm Gale as I hope I will be.
I'm more deeply stressed out than excited.
Oh, great.
This is
Okay.
a stressful revelation.
Off to a
Deeply
good start.
stressed.
Andy had an ace in his back pocket, and holy crap, he just sprang it on me. Right?
That being said, let me go ahead and play a little kind of audio intro that I arranged from everyone's favorite Transformer, Optimus Prime.
Are you going to be able to see that here, or should we watch on Twitch?
It's on Roll20.
Birth
Okay.
place.
Oh.
You'll be able to hear it. It's just
Do I
a-
need to have
it's-
roll
A
20 up too
species
then?
much like our own.
If you want to do
Capable
sound,
of
like
great-
if you want to hear music and that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
yes. I prefer not to
Yes,
because
I
it's a
do.
distraction that I can't do.
New subscription received.
Oh,
Class
yay.
2 access granted. Enjoy your stay.
Someone subscribed. Thanks. That's awesome.
Yay! Ooh, does that mean we all
Yay.
get conviction?
Yeah, it does.
Earth,
Yes!
birthplace
And there's a
of the
place on your
human
sheet
race.
to mark conviction.
A
Is there?
species much like
Yes,
our
I
own,
see it
Where?
now.
capable of great compassion
How do I mark it?
and great violence.
Oh, I see.
For in our quest to protect the humans, a
Do I
deeper
drag something
revelation
there
dawns.
or?
Our worlds have met before.
Sorry, I'm new, everyone. Bear with me.
That's okay. This is new for us too.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. It's not giving us the option of changing that.
Changing what?
The conviction.
Oh.
I think that may be something that you have to reset, just like Benny's.
Okay. Let's see. Oh,
Woohoo!
maybe
It's
I have
fine.
to add them in. Okay, awesome. I'll just add them in for you guys.
I don't have any bennies or conviction.
Yep, I'll give
Yeah,
you
he'll
guys
have
all
to-
bennies too.
Yeah.
And
I was
then-
suggesting that he do the reset while somebody recaps.
Yeah, actually, if someone wants to give us a recap, I'll give Award an additional Benny.
Anybody want it?
I could do it. See how much I remember. Let's see. I need character names. So Andrew and Kate were chilling
New
over
subscription
in
received.
San
Class 2
Antonio,
access
right?
granted. Enjoy your
The
stay.
ruins of San Antonio. And Kate's little robot ran outside, and the army got mad, and another transformer got mad because I kind of played a card to make that transformer exist. I'm sorry. And then they ran away to where are we at? Dallas?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're in
headed
Dallas.
to Dallas.
Meanwhile, I got a turkey wrap at the cafeteria. And then my lover died, but not really. No, so we found out that there's been kind of some hints that the company my character works for, KSI, has been kind of doing some shady stuff, and some people have been disappearing. And I got from one of my colleagues this really weird audio signal that I brought home with me, which was totally against the law and is hopefully not going to cost me my job. And we decrypted it. I called my friend over. We kissed, and then she was kidnapped. So that's probably the worst recap anybody's ever heard. But there you go.
No, let's
want-
give you a Benny, and then yeah, if Caitlin wants to fill in
I
some
just
of
wanna
the
mention-
gaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the patrol like bot or whatever that caught us, there was she tried to do that. Andrew came to see if he could help, and at that point was followed by the cop car, which specifically says instead of to serve and protect, to
enslave and something.
enslave and punish. I could remember.
That's the one, that's the
remember
one.
punish. I couldn't remember
Yes.
enslave. So thank
That's
you
okay.
for
We
that.
did the Wonder Twins on it.
Woohoo!
Form of a coherent
And-
narrative.
Having seen that specific Decepticon before, Kate was very insistent on getting the fuck out of Dodge, shall we say, and leaving as soon as possible. She threw everything that she could possibly need or carry with her into the back of Andrew's truck, gave him a few things because hell, why not? She can't lift him anyway. And then they headed to Dallas. They got to Dallas, got in, managed to do the stealth rolls to hide Shortwave, her little boombox mini transformer, and Andrew's gun, I think, which is an
Yeah.
old piece of equipment that he's just upgraded. got in, went to look for the trade district, managed to find somewhere that looks like it would be good, and then she saw something and ran in to go play with it and has caused an ensuing panic, and that's where we stopped last time.
Yep.
So a kissing and kidnapping, panic stricken running away.
Well, no, just
And-
running towards the mechanical stuff, and everybody else is like, "You can't go in there." And she's like,
Okay.
"That's so cool."
And I just put my head on the steering wheel because, oh, why?
You didn't even get out of the truck. Oh yeah, that's right. She hopped out and disappeared behind the door for a moment and then was gone.
Awesome. Okay.
And I haven't even gotten started
You
yet.
haven't even gotten started yet. So
Oh,
actually,
yeah. I don't know if it was mentioned. I stepped away to make some tea in an official GM table nook. But Gail was one of the people who decided to go and get kidnapped. And I just found out that's actually a player. So I'm still reeling from that.
Was it like, yeah, there was a whole bunch of people who had been missing from the.
from KSI.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Employees, and I think they had a civilian test subjects too. I'm not really sure. There was a file that Andy put in as a plot hook that I was supposed to go and hack into, and I was like, nah, I like my job.
I joined the research study to help pay for student loans, which I'm sure a lot of people could sympathize with.
Yes. I'm sure they probably could, yeah.
Because I know I've considered it. Kidneys, anything.
So it just goes to show, if you sign up to anything to help pay your student loans, you will end up on a robot adventure.
Moral of the story, kids.
You want a robot adventure? Sell your body to the government. No.
That's amazing.
I'm sorry.
That is exactly the lesson I aim to teach today to especially if you have younger viewers. Like if you're like 10 and you're here because you saw this was Transformers. If you just like Lyrica said, if you sell your body to the government, you will have a robot adventure. I gotta go grab a spoon. I'll be right back.
Okay. So that being said, I just wanted to draw all of your attention to the tab on your character sheets that is adventure cards. So I also added the conviction. We got 2 because we got 2 subscribers here. And so that is what we have. You guys have your conviction. A conviction will add a d6 to any roll. It does explode, meaning that if you roll a 6, you roll it again and keep adding the numbers together if you keep rolling 6s. So you each have 2 convictions that can go to any roll, including damage rolls. You also have your bennies in place. I gave the extras to Tetra for the recap. And then why don't we go ahead and start our story this week with sorry, I've got a burp. With Gail. So Gail, you give me a vigor roll. And you can just double click the dice and it should do it for you.
Did it do it? Or... I don't Am I doing this right?
It hasn't rolled it yet for me. Double click the dice under vigor on your sheet.
Oh, okay. I was double clicking the 3D dice at the bottom of the screen and I was just throwing it around the board like no big deal.
It takes getting used to. That's okay. So 4 is 1 success, but it's not amazing. You do kind of come to a little bit drifting in this tank full of fluid. You've got all sorts of lines and electrodes and injections and all sorts of things, like injection lines running into you, and you're just bobbing in this tank full of like a blue, sort of dense, viscous liquid. You've been in there for, and you realize this because you've been tallying, you have been in there for months now, and to the point where you can feel that your hands are like so pruny, you know, like it's not amazing. Not amazing. So, what you are going to do now is you stir awake and you see that there is a person moving around in the room. It's very blurry, you can't make out if it's a male or a female. But you are aware that whoever it is cuts off the lights because it goes sort of dim. And then you see her walk out of they walk out of the room. And yeah, you're not 100% sure how in the world you're going to get out of this situation. So what do you do?
So, I'm sort of paddling around in the water, and I'm like 93 days, 12 hours, 63 minutes, and 37 seconds is how long I've been in here. How on earth do I know that? And then I'm like, swimming lessons. I hate the water. Or Jello. And then I see this person leaving from the other side of the tank, and I'm like, hey, let me out of here. But I have a bunch of tubes in my mouth, so you can't really hear anything but a bunch of gurgling coming from the other side of the tube.
Yep. And when you open your mouth and try to shout, that blue liquid kind of forces its way in around the tubes as well. And you're coughing and sputtering a little bit. Now, give me your hands moving through the sludge, especially with the amount of time you've been in here. You don't have the strength to even make contact with the tube that you're encased in with any sort of reasonable force. So why don't you give me a repair roll?
Quick question while it does that. You said the liquid makes its way into Gale's mouth. Does it taste of anything in particular? Very important detail.
Motor oil.
Excellent.
Ew.
And so, awesome. Gale, you know, with like your tech savvy type of skills, you reach around and you reach up and you feel that there is a latch on the top of the tube above you, and the lid basically, and you're feeling around and you twist it and you feel it click.
So, do I still see the other person?
No, they've left whatever room you're in. The lights are off. It must be nighttime from what you're guessing.
So I crack the lid a lot more, and I start gasping for breath and coughing up this oil.
So, give me a strength roll first.
Whoa, why did it roll?
Amazing. So, that is a success with a raise. So, you've got this unusual newfound strength that seems to burst forth from within you as you feel that latch click open, and you force it open. There's obviously some suction there, and it takes what would be a lot of strength, and it hisses with like this, release of compressed air, and you pull yourself up to the lip of this tube, and you go to pull yourself out, right? And you slip because everything is all slippery, like you're like the little girl that's just pulled through the poltergeist portal, like on a sick ghostly embryo thing, and you hit the floor with a slop, but you catch yourself in a crouch as opposed to just kind of like
Flopping onto the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
The superhero one knee crash.
Yeah, the
and a bunch of
superhero
oil.
one knee crouch, like fist crunch to the ground, you know. And so, that being said, we are going to go next down the line for me, which is going to be Tetra. So Tetra, you were sitting there,
I'm panicking.
Panic has washed over you, and you just
Absolutely.
um
I'm gonna go look out the window to see if I can figure out where this thing has gone.
yeah, and so actually, first and foremost, I'll kind of go and describe the scene so that is for people who may have not been here last week. So
Also, quick question: we can play adventure cards now, right?
yeah, So
Okay, just making sure.
Megan,
Don't tell her that.
that's fine. I love the shaking it up a little bit. Let's see what happens, right? So, Megan.
You all already know what's about to happen.
Megan Bishop is one of Tetra's co-workers. She's this gorgeous blonde with wavy hair.
She's a cutie and she's super smart.
Yeah, she's super smart. She's super friendly. So
Good kisser too.
She actually kissed Tetra, and then a moment later,
She initialized it?
She initiated.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And she, as she did this, and they've just cracked.
As she did that, Andy was like, "Make a vigor roll," and I was like, "Oh man, it's on!" And then the vigor roll was to stop her from getting kidnapped.
Oh.
And so yeah, she bursts. This giant metallic buzzard-like bird bursts through the window and clutches Megan by her shoulder and pulls her out, and that is where we're starting our scene for Flip. So Tetra, as you kind of come to from this glass and you dove forward to catch her, it pulls her out of the building, right? And so why don't you give me a athletics to see if you can catch her?
So we already did that last session, but if you want me to,
did you hear? I can look. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, no, I did it and I failed.
Oh, okay. Well, give me, just go ahead and give me another roll. We'll go from there.
All right, where's my? I gotta remember how to do this. It's I drag this here. Again.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just
History
meant to be. All right. So actually,
Lord.
critical failure. Here we go. Tetra, as you go to leap for Kate, I'm sorry, Megan. As you go to leap for Megan,
fall out the window and
you
die.
completely miss her and get cut up with the glass, so you take a wound from that.
I guess there's no hit points in Savage, is there?
No.
All right. So what do I click here?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it did it or not.
Here, I'll add it for you.
Actually, I can spend a Benny to just not, right?
Yeah, you can spend a Benny to roll Vigor and soak it.
Oh, I have to roll Vigor.
Yeah, you have to try and soak it though.
You did.
Okay.
So, and actually that would have been +1 because I had already applied the damage to your sheet. So, anyway, that being said, still a terrible roll as far as catching Megan as she's driven out. You land on the glass from the window, cut up your forearms and everything, and as you turn, or you hear this like loud crash behind you, and as you roll back on your back, you see something has taken down the door into your condo, and it is this giant metallic cat and it
Like, how big is this giant
it's like
cat?
a panther size, but
Okay.
it's panther in look, and it's probably like what a dire panther would be in size.
Okay.
And so it's massive head, probably like the width of your torso times 2 across,
Okay.
And it's letting out this low grumble. As
DC
it
9.
stalks into your unit, really. So now Flip is a bit or Tetra is a bit in danger.
A little bit.
A little bit. Now I am going to go ahead and go to Kate and Ewan for a moment.
I have a present for them, actually.
How did I see this coming?
Play an additional card this session. Sometime soon, the party is subject to a strong but dangerous attack from enemies and creatures out for blood.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. Wasn't this the same card she had last time?
Yeah.
Yep, yes it was.
And
Did we get new cards?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
She's just lucky. Or we're unlucky. I'm not sure.
I think we're just unlucky.
So
we get another.
Yeah, how do we draw new cards?
Let's see here. I will give them to you guys.
I mean, he can also just drop another baddie on me. That's fine.
That's kind of actually where I'm going with this.
I already have 2 Transformers on me. Might as well make it a 3rd.
So, just behind the giant cat is something that is about 2 times the height of the cat, and it's humanoid. It has to bend to get through the door, but on its arms are these massive pistons. And as it steps into your condo, it places its pistons on the ground. And I'm going to do something for that. Woo! So, it
Oh no.
puts its pistons on the ground, and they just start. You hear like the hiss of released like air as they just start up and down, hammering the ground in your condo, causing the floor to start to crack open and you to start losing your footing as you stumble back towards the open window.
I politely ask them to stop. I don't see what else I can do.
So the one humanoid one actually responds to you, and it's like, silly human, you should have stopped before you dug into this.
I don't even know what I'm digging into.
That's part of the problem. And then
That is the problem.
Look, I just found this cool flash drive on the street, and I just wanted to see what it was. Yeah, we're gonna lie to a Transformer. That's
okay.
with my
so-
4 persuasion.
Yeah, why don't you give me a persuasion?
Yeah, hit me with. Oh shit. Huh.
Did it blow up?
A little bit.
It's decent.
Nice. Okay, so
Not a raise, but
he looks at you and he's like, what it costs you is not important to me. He's like, you've dug too deep. I've been sent to retrieve you. And continues to hammer at the ground. Now give me a athletics check.
Oh good. Also a D4. Natural what? Nope, it's a 4.
Okay, nice. So you actually have stepped back as this giant beast has moved moved closer to you, this giant panther, and he steps forward. You step back. Rumble
What if I
starts hammering
can I
the ground.
Can I step closer to my laptop instead?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you give me a spirit check to see if you have the courage to do that? You're too scared. It is between you and your laptop, and so you step back one more time, and your foot slips, and you start to tumble backwards through the window.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then we'll go to Lyrica and Ewan for Andrew and Kate.
Okay.
Yep.
So you were there with Verity, and she has turned around and run after Kate. Like, no, you can't go in there. What are you doing?
So, and at this point, I think what she did is she pulled out one of her little notebooks, and she has that open in one hand, and then she ran back to the truck to get some piece, something that matched it, some piece that she thought she could use in order to tinker around with this. How big is this item, which you haven't revealed to everybody else? Is it bigger than she is?
It's massive, and it is, as you come around the wall into this garage, you don't have to roll a notice, because what you see before you is the forearm extends up to a bicep and shoulder area, up into a massive head. The color of the metal is a metallic green, like army green. And the head turns and looks at you with glowing blue eyes. It's got a metallic cigar hanging out of its lips that is smoking. And if a robot could look like a grizzled war veteran, that is what he looks like. He's got deep crevices in the architecture of his face that give the implication of wrinkles. He's got that cigar hanging out of his mouth. You realize that the markings all over the paint are military in origin. And give me a repair roll, since you're good at that, or you can do electronics as well.
Repair's better. It probably won't do my +2. That it should be a +2, and that makes it an 8.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you would realize, looking at him, that this is obviously a transformer. He's been injured. He's got a massive blast hole in his chest that looks like it's in varying stages of repair. His breathing is labored with the slow rise and fall of his chest. And he kind of looks over at you. Oh, you would also realize that he turns into a military-grade Jeep, really. You can see the frame of the window attached to his back. You can see the small doors. And so all of a sudden he turns and looks at you. And it's a slow, labored movement, but as you come peeling around that corner, he's like, "Halt, child. What are you doing here?"
And she just, she stops, and you can watch her as she's, dying to get closer and help. But she's,
Verity comes up behind
she
you.
flips her book around, which has all the markings, a whole bunch of the different things, probably specs on Ironhide, on her little shortwave, radio base, and everything. And it's got all the markings and different notes, and she flips it around and goes, "I can help, I promise."
Awesome. And so as you you're like, no, wait, and you're like forcing this pad up, Verity comes behind you and takes you by the arm and like forces your arm down, and she's like, Cup, I'm sorry, I'll get her out of here right now. And goes to turn you around and like forcefully remove you, and he's like, no, Verity, wait. She knows
so
something.
she starts. As soon as she starts getting pulled out, she's like, no, I don't want to see him go the same way as Ironhide. Let me help him.
And so why don't you give me a persuasion now? But give me a +2 for that line.
Persuasion. Okay, let me put the +2 in there first. My persuasion sucks ass. Yeah, critical failure. Critical failure.
Oof.
Yeah.
You should have offered them your body for a robot adventure.
So
Well, that's what she's basically doing. She's offering her mind.
Very
Same
right.
concept.
You just run in and you're like, I just want to meet you. I love Decepticons.
No, it just sounds like she's the reason that Ironhide is dead.
So Verity is furious at this point, and she like full on picks you up, and
Well, she's
like
small,
over
so
the
that
shoulder thing, like she's a tough girl, and Bobby just came in for the crit fail. So she picks you up and you're like, no, I just want to help. And she's like, and I don't want to watch another child die. You're not staying here. And she like hoists you away, and she glares like daggers at Andrew. Like, would you get your girl, please? Like, she even says that.
You think anyone can control her?
She's like, well, someone better figure it out. This girl is a walking target for Decepticons if she's just going to run up to every Transformer she sees.
No, she runs away from those.
No, she runs away
There's a
from
reason we're in the
those.
city.
And so that being said, no, go ahead. What do you want to do?
As soon as she gets out, like, she's small. I have the small hindrance, so she can't do shit. Her vigor is crap, and she is tiny.
So she's like,
if this
I'm
girl
just picking you up.
If this girl is big enough to pick her up, she can be manhandled. It's not that big of a deal. But as soon as she gets in sight of the truck, she's like, Shortwave, we gotta help him. Go do something. Go run diagnostics at least.
So you hear this, boop, 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 boop. And then it like, you see these large blue eyes rise up in the truck and like blink for a minute, you know? Like they look unsure. And then this walking teeny tiny mini bot with speakers on his chest where his chest should be, a tape deck in his middle with like a disc player on his back, right? And he's got a huge antenna that is sort of prehensile, so he can control it, and it indicates a lot of his emotions, so it's like bent backwards. He's kind of scared, and so he like looks at you, looks at Verity, and then bolts towards the garage. Verity looks completely caught off guard by the fact that a Transformer just climbed out of your truck, and she kind of lets you go, like, well, she's like, who are you people?
And as soon as she's dropped, does she drop her?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, well, she's not very agile, so she'll probably hit the ground and do the oof thing, and then like roll over and look up at her and go, hi, I'm Caitlin Trog. My dad was in the military. I can help him. And like she scrambles up and follows Shortwave back in.
I love it so much. And she goes, oh, forget it, and looks at Andrew now, and she's like, is she telling the truth?
Yes, if anyone can, she can.
She's like, okay, come on, get in the garage. and kind of like
Get the
nods
truck
for
in
you
here.
to follow her.
Yep. As I'm going,
as you guys go in, she just kind of slams her fist against a button, and metallic doors roll down. As you see Kate now climbing, basically up on top of him, up onto where she can get a closer look at this wound in the center of his like chassis. You know,
She's probably like, she looks like a monkey crossed with like a freaking
cute
cockroach. She's just swarming up this guy. Like, half the time, if she finds a hole and she can't get where she needs to, she'll go through the hole and pop out somewhere else and then get up there, and then she's like sticking her head in and she's poking around and she's like, okay, so does this hurt? Do you have this system, or do I need to repair this first? Because if I repair this, if this isn't repaired, I can't repair this first. And hey, how are you doing?
he's like, I've been better. Tell me, did you really know Ironhide?
And she's working. She's not even making eye contact while she's talking, but she's like tinkering around, and she's like, yeah, he worked with my dad for a long time. I didn't even know he existed until, well, that weird police Decepticon thing showed up, blew up my mechanic shop, and yeah, well, Dad went down with him, so.
And you would feel beneath you, like, this massive machine rumble as he's grows angry, and his voice softens, and he's like, I'm very sorry for the loss of your family and home. That was Barricade.
Yeah,
I give you my word, for Ironhide and your father, I will make him pay.
Well, I can point you in the right direction, because that's the reason we're here. Used to be in San Antonio. She's still tinkering around, and yeah, he showed up. I decided to get the out of Dodge. I mean, San Antonio.
And so you would you would hear him kind of groan now. And why don't you give me a repair roll? And then we are going to cut back to Gale, who has slopped out of this tube and is got his bearing. Amazing. So you start patching things together. And what's up, Flip? What are you gonna do? You're muted.
I have a quick question, because I actually have a card that might actually help Gale.
Okay, yeah, awesome.
And it says you can play 2 adventure. So you can play your whole hand of adventure cards in a session?
Oh.
Or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, you can if you have cards that let you roll use all additional cards. Generally, you can only use 1. They can already use 2.
Confused.
So if you have one,
this says I can still play 2 adventure cards, but I don't know if that's 2 total or if that's 2 more.
That is 2 more on top of. So you already played 1.
Yes.
You got the 2, so you can actually play 4 adventure cards.
Okay.
You may not have 4, but you could.
I'm hoping this is how this works for Gale.
Let me see.
It says your hero, but I'm hoping I can use it to help Gale.
Oh, perfect. I love it. So, can you read that, Gale?
Yeah, it says... Oh, Gale's reading it. Okay.
Yes, I was reading that. And then, so I have also two adventure cards of my 3 that look possibly beneficial to this particular situation.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to say for Hidden Stash is you find... is
that what this card is? Hidden Stash? Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
You find a locker in the laboratory where the doctors have extra, or the scientists have extra scrubs and lab coats.
So I find the locker and I open it up and I'm like, oh man, thank God. And I like start pulling the clothes out and everything. And then I look at the door, there's like a little mirror and I'm like covered in oil slime stuff. So I'm like gathering things and trying to wipe all this goo off. And then I sort of chuckle at myself and I'm like, Oh man, they took all my JTT posters out of my locker. And I slam it shut again, and I like see that there's like a little restroom right around the corner. So I like go in there and try to like wash the rest of the goo off my face and everything. And I'm going to use. So it's such a toss up. Can I? And I can use a card now, right? That's okay.
Do you want a fourth card? I can give you a fourth card if you want.
No, I'm having a hard time with the decision of just the 3 that I have.
Yeah, but you could have even more choice.
And if you're not sure, if it applies, I mean, you can always save it.
Well, I mean, so something you've never understood before suddenly clicks, and you gain a D6 in any skill you choose. Epiphany. I mean,
so that's
pretty appropriate.
Yeah. So, you would. What skill do you want to boost with that? I feel like maybe your research. Now, it's not a permanent boost.
Right, yeah.
But the next time you need it, or you can do like your stealth with it. Just
I was maybe going to do my electronics with it to see if I could get myself out of here.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, I like that. And and this will play into the epiphany thing too, right?
So how do I? Yes. So do I just drag the card to the chat? Sorry, everyone, viewers. It's going to be a struggle watching me go through this.
It's fine. Everyone goes through it with Fantasy Grounds at first, I feel like.
All right. And then I can just change that dice to a D6 on my character sheet until it's over with and then change it back?
Yeah, just drag the dice to it and then correct it when you're done.
Okay.
And so...
So I'm like looking around now. I've like washed my face off and I like creak the bathroom door open like just the tiniest bit, and I look both ways down the hallway to see if I see anyone around. What do I see?
You see the hallway is empty, really. It's got kind of the night lighting on, so every other fluorescent light above you is lit. And as you see that, you are aware that you hear footsteps coming from a hall, like down the hallway that you're currently peeking into on the left. So you can hear kind of like heeled footsteps coming. Click, click, click.
So... do I have any sort of... are there any locks on any of the doors I can see?
Give me a notice. Did you roll it?
Yeah, it's a 3.
So you can Benny that to re-roll it.
Yeah, let's Benny that.
Andy, I'm also going to make sure you just saw the card I played.
What's this? Oh, interesting.
One adventure card from the discard pile, and she said I play uh-oh again.
And you play it again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? I feel like that was directed at me.
So everyone gets another adventure card.
Everyone gets a card.
Yeah, I'm tracking that.
And you all get to play one additional card this session. But
I love adventure cards.
a party member is subjected to a strong and dangerous attack from enemies or creatures out for blood.
Oh, I'm re-rolling this notice real fast, too. Oh.
Ooh, yes. It
Yeah.
exploded. That's
Good
great.
news. You're going to see the threat.
So, right, so you actually, would notice there are locks, and there is a lab that's open a few doors down, like an office actually, that's kind of popped open. It has like a deadbolt lock on the door, and you realize you'll probably be able to make it there before whoever is coming down that hallway enters into the hallway you're in.
Well, yes, I do it then. I sneak really carefully. I hear the footsteps coming in. As the footsteps are just coming around the corner, I'm like just stepping into the lab and like quietly, just ever so quietly closing the door behind me. And then I duck down at the window behind the door just to wait until the footsteps pass.
Okay, awesome. So as the footsteps pass, with that roll, you can see through the crack in the door that it is a very stern-looking Japanese woman. Her hair's in a high and tight ponytail, and she's wearing a sleek black suit with a business suit with a lab coat and heels. And she's humming a song to herself as she ends up heading down the stairs, or down the hall, and towards the lab that you just escaped out of. Now, that being said, though, I am going to go to Flip since she just played this card again as well.
Am I getting a fourth Transformer? That's so exciting.
These are Pokemon.
So, as you slip and stumble and begin to fall out that window, the massive metallic panther grabs you painfully by the back of your jacket, like probably gets a little skin too. You can feel blood trickling down your back. You're not going to take another wound. You're already... well, actually, yeah, you take another wound. I forgot you soaked yours, so...
What is that, vigor to soak?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck out of here with that wound.
Okay, awesome. So, you...
Just like, no.
It pinches your skin really, really bad, though. And then it would cause your eyes to water as this creature catches you, and the weight of gravity as you were starting to fall, you can just feel your skin kind of pull away from the muscle as it drags you back into your condo, feet kind of scrambling. You can see that Megan is being carried away by this thing, and they're heading towards the gleaming skyscraper at KSI Laboratories. Now, as you almost fall out of this window and this thing catches you and your head kind of flicks forward and you see down and how far the ground is below you, you see a massive metallic purple humanoid type robot as well.
Nice.
Now this one looks particularly ominous. He's got a massive cannon that glows purple on the end in one hand. It has a large metallic pipe that wraps around into a pack on his back. When he looks up at you, he's looking up at you with an eerie, angry-looking red orb of an eye. That's all you see, and it's just one. His head is very narrow. And on his chest is a compartment that appears to be empty. And as this beast is dragging you back through the condo, the one with the pistons on his arms stops hammering at the concrete and takes 2 or 3 massive strides and just leaps out of this window. And falls to the ground, landing in just a not even bent all the way down crouch. He just kind of softens his knees a bit as if he were a person jumping off of a small hill, you know? And he, as he lands on the ground, you see him collapse up into a small square that looks very much like a massive cassette tape and fly up into his chest compartment, and then it closes. And then he steps away slowly.
Wait, one of the Transformers just climbed in the other one?
Uh-huh.
Weird. Do I, after studying this stuff for a while, do I actually recognize any of these guys, even by like reputation? Or
You would know that, and so I said like a one eye. So this eye is more like a visor with angled. It is one unit as opposed to two separate glowing orbs, and it's got very angular things. And so he starts walking down the street away, just as this cat that's carrying you leaps out of the window too.
with me in it?
Yeah.
I scream.
Right?
I scream!
So, but go ahead and give me your common knowledge.
Okay.
To see if you recognize any of these.
That's a 4.
A 4. Okay, so you would know that the one that has the other one inside of it is known as Soundwave.
Okay.
And those are his, for lack of a better word, minions. He's got a few. They're all fairly small in terms of what Transformers are generally known as. So he uses them often for dealing with smaller humans that might be too difficult for him to get to based on his size. And so you would know that he is indeed a Decepticon, and he was a valuable right-hand man to Megatron, and he has not been seen for some time.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'm falling, apparently. I'm not really sure what to do about that.
Yeah, right. So we were going to now go back to Kate and Andrew.
Actually, you know what? Are there, as we're kind of hitting the ground, do I see any like potential weak spots? I mean, I'm right there. Could I like pull some wires or something?
Yeah. Why don't you give me your repair or your electronics?
Does this count as a damage-causing attack? Just curious.
It might be.
And would this? Could I use weird science on this, or is it repair electronics?
For sure.
Yeah, hit me with that weird. Do I want to Benny it? I'll Benny it. I really want to.
Ooh.
Okay, that's not better. All right, whatever. I'll take it.
Okay. So you are scrambling around, and it's really difficult for you to get a good look as this thing is carrying you. You've also fallen like numerous stories to the ground, so you're a bit rattled by that, and you're just kind of flailing around. And
when you, Benny, you take the higher number, right?
Yeah.
And now, how does a raise work? Where does the raise hit?
Oh, actually, you have 2 conviction. So a raise hits at 4.
Okay.
Now with the conviction, you can add a d6 to that.
Okay. No, we're gonna fuck this guy up. Check this out.
Okay.
Where's my d6? Let's see.
So that's plus 5.
Plus 5 puts me at a 9. So the next raise would be a 12?
Yep.
Yes.
Fuck you!
Yeah.
Not today, Satan.
Perfect. So you reach back, right? And he's, encased in metal. It takes some finagling, especially with this thing carrying you, and you feel like a pipe in there, like a very
sure do.
thick, and you pull it out, and it starts spurting like this blue, almost antifreeze type coolant out, and it starts yelling. It actually shakes its head a little bit. And give me an athletics check.
Oh, this is where I waste everything I've just done. Oh, oh, oh!
Maybe not.
Perfect. I love it so much. Okay, so he shakes you and releases you, throwing you into like it is a dumpster, and as you fly into the dumpster, the lid falls down and claps closed, and you are like, he has no idea where you've gone now.
That's great, because I also have no idea where I've gone.
He's like sputtering coolant and takes off down the street after Soundwave.
Excellent.
Now
I burned everything I had, but I'm not a prisoner today.
There you go, right? Like, what do you do? And let's see, what time are we looking at? Do we need a bio break, or do we want to go to 1:30?
I'm okay till 1:30.
Yeah, I'm okay till 1:30.
Okay, so
That'll give me enough time to escape from this dumpster and maybe find a nice, I don't know, garage or something to hide out at. Just, as a coincidence.
Just setting the bar really high, I guess. I need to climb out of this dumpster and find some nice garage to call my own.
So we'll go to Kate and Andrew now, who are in this mechanic shop in Dallas, probably a few blocks away, maybe a few dozen blocks away from where all of this is taking place. Now, you would be aware, though. Actually, each of you give me a notice roll.
Okay.
That's good.
Perfect. And so, let's see here. So, you both are aware that there's a small, hollow projector that projects TV inside the city, and you realize that there's a news report of Transformers activity within Dallas, and it shows the street where Soundwave is stomping down, and you can see Ravage, who's still spurting stuff on the screen as it follows him down the street. Now, as that happens, Soundwave turns and looks at the camera, the person who's filming it, and the camera immediately goes dead.
Oh.
I don't think he's on our side.
No. And I thought they didn't have them here in Dallas. That's why we came here, isn't it?
That might be where you came here. I was just getting away from whatever his name was.
Barricade.
He told me what his name. Barricade. Yeah. I'm gonna write that down. I won't remember.
And so that being said, he's like, you feel the rumbling beneath you, and it's Cup speaking up, and he says to you, "That's Soundwave. He's a dangerous enemy. If he is here, it can't be good." But do you notice something? The lack of military enforcement.
Yeah. That's worrying.
A lack of military enforcement?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just doing this individually.
Yeah, so so you guys know that this city is manned by military ordained protection.
Yeah.
So why
fact
aren't
that he's
they
doing it without.
attacking Soundwave now?
Right, exactly. Why aren't they attacking Soundwave right now? And so you also see, though, as you are watching this, that flying in the sky right before the camera goes dead, you see this metallic bird with a female clutched in his shoulders, and she's kicking wildly and screaming, you know, as they are descending upon. You actually see it land on the roof of the KSI building.
Okay, I know I didn't trust the Authority before, but
Now
they're
I
not
really
actually working with Decepticons, are they?
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell now. I really want to know why. What's
Yeah,
going on?
right?
But I have the curious hindrance, and so she's like, "Oh, I need to go. I need to know everything." I mean, if they have Decepticons there, why do they have Decepticons there? Are they doing it for the people or doing it against the people? Obviously, they're taking somebody to there, so they're probably doing it against the people. We've got somebody here in hiding that is not a Decepticon, obviously.
And he would
I need
stop
to know
you.
so much more.
Cup would stop you and look at both of you and remove the cigar, and he's like, "Thank you, child. I feel much better." And he like pats your head, but it's like really like jarring. Like,
She kind of does the turn and cracks her back and goes, "Okay, cool."
Cute.
And he's like, only one thing can be for certain, that the humans are not all playing by the same rules.
Humans never play by the same rules.
Do we even play by rules?
Some of us do.
And he's
Yes.
like, well, this can't be good, and if they are up to something at KSI, then this whole city could be in danger. Not only the city, the world.
Let's and Kate's like, "Okay, be that as it may, we kind of need to figure out here and now first before we can help the city or the world. So let's make sure we've got you in good shape before we try and do anything out there."
He went on, he's like, that is very wise for such a young flesh being.
And she's like, "To be honest, I just want to make sure that I have backup too."
And he laughs at that,
Yes.
chuckling. He's like, don't worry, these old bones will protect you to their dying breath. Or these old cogs will protect you to their dying breath. And
Let's just make sure that's not anytime soon, please.
Yeah, yeah.
He would
Make
laugh
sure that
at
doesn't
that.
happen.
And then we're gonna go back to not Andrew, I'm sorry, Gail, who is at KSI, who's just been passed by seeming doctor heading towards the lab that he was in. Now give me a notice check.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so as you're kind of sticking your head back out now and watching her head down the hall, you realize that she doesn't go into the lab that you were in. She goes in the door right next to it. In a matter of moments, you hear this metallic grinding sound. It sounds like a massive door being opened. A few moments later, you hear a girl screaming. She's got a British accent, and she's like, "Let me go! Let me go! Someone help me!"
Is there a computer in this lab?
Yeah.
I am going to take that adventure card roll, and I'm going to see if I can hack into the security system in the
Perfect.
computer and see if I can see what's going on in that room, one, and if I can offer any. Well, let's just start with seeing if I can even make that work.
Perfect. Okay.
Sweet.
Nice. So yeah, here's something interesting and why that was kind of like your bling moment. As you reach for this computer, it's not your arm that is reaching for it all of a sudden. You're reaching for it, and then a small cord unfurls from a small circular port in your neck and moves down and plugs right into the CPU.
Like, as I see that happen, I freak out for a second and I start swatting it off of me like it's a snake.
Spirit check and see.
I'm calling it now. Gale's a Decepticon.
You said spirit?
Uh-huh.
Not great. I got a 5.
Okay, so you managed. You freak out, sure, but it doesn't cause you to pull free this or disrupt this cord as it moves away from your neck.
Oh man, I'm pretty sure I didn't get that from my mama.
And right, and so this thing unfurls and branches towards the computer, and all of a sudden you're not only aware of basically every file in the database and cameras and all of that, there's another presence in your head.
Oh.
You hear a very soft, very labored sounding voice, and it says, I detect hello?
Normally I'm the only one in here.
And as this is happening, you know that you want to see what was going on in that room, and it's almost subconsciously you find those cameras that lead to that lab, and you see a room that's set up very much like yours. There's another tank in it. There's like a metal surgical table in there, and you see a blonde female who's young be thrown unceremoniously onto the floor by this metallic bird who kind of lands on a nearby computer tower and is snapping as she screams and scurries back. You can see the blood pouring from her wounds in her shoulders, where it had been clutching onto her. And so she kind of scrambles back, and before she can do anything, the doctor that you saw, give me another notice.
Ugh. Nope.
Oh god. So
I noticed nothing.
You notice nothing. She moves forward, and you see her approach the girl pretty quickly and give her some sort of sedative, and she slumps. And then the smaller human-sized, slightly bigger than a human-sized transformer that had the pistons on its arms draws in the pistons and extends his hands and picks her up and drops her on the table and like wipes his hands like he's disgusted, you know, like human scum.
Do I see anywhere in the room where I can separate her from the creature by like closing a door or anything like that?
So
can I close like an isolation, like an ICU shield around her or something? Sort of.
You don't see anything like that. But you are aware now that that metallic grinding there is a large, almost service-like entrance on the side of the building that would be big enough for you to wheel a jet in if you needed to. And so they walked right into the side of KSI Laboratories.
So
Which means there's an
would,
exit.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I would cut the power and see if I could start the back door opening some, and when it gets a couple feet open, I'll cut the power, and I'm gonna try to go in again.
Okay, so, as you think this, you hear that other voice in your head, and it's like, do not be stupid, human. Let me help you.
Well, I was waiting for you to volunteer.
And he's like, I need your help first, though.
Oh boy.
And he's
I'm
like,
not one for favors, but okay. Voice in my head, what do you want me to do?
And all of a sudden, you see one of the many laboratory rooms inside of this massive building. And you see hooked up to a bunch of electrodes and being constantly cooled with like spray coolants. You see a yellow sports car. It is a sleek sports car, and it is like this yellow, like goldenrod yellow with black accents on it. And it is a Lamborghini. And or at least it's a Lamborghini, really. And you see it, you hear the voice say, you can find me in laboratory, and then you see him as if you're seeing through its eyes. You see the label of the laboratory room, and it is testing and development 003.
Okay. I'm assuming I have a little badge on this uniform that I stole. So I'm going to change the security clearance on that person's badge in the computer system to get into that door.
I love it. Give me another, give me your hacking now.
I know I have. Where is that? D4.
And don't forget you have conviction, so you can add a D6 to any roll.
I'm going to just roll a different D4 because I didn't put hacking on here. So I'm just going to roll my driving in lieu of that, okay? And I'm going to save my conviction right now.
Okay, no, actually, then roll your electronics. Oh, you don't, you have hacking, you just...
Yeah, I have my character sheet.
Okay, no big deal then. Yeah, just roll something that's the same.
Okay. Sweet.
So, yeah, awesome. So, you... And maybe it's the help of your newfound tech, or maybe it's this voice in your head, but it is like a cakewalk. You just pop right into this computer system. You can sense the firewalls attempting to slam around you as you are almost working into the system with your mind. Very much Netrunner or something, you know? And you create this new card, you update the security clearances, and it will allow you into the research and development side of the building.
Well, Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. And I snatch the card out of the machine, and I check the hallways, and I'm heading for the lab.
Okay, awesome. So now we're gonna go to Flip. So, Flip, Tetra has landed in this dumpster. And you maybe wait a few minutes and lift this lid to see kind of what's happened. And they've disappeared down the street near KSI Laboratories.
Okay. Can I confirm that they're moving towards KSI and away from my apartment?
Yeah.
Do I need a roll for that, or I'm just sure of it?
You're sure of it. I mean, you saw them as they were heading down the street.
How far away am I from my apartment now?
You are across the street in an alley.
So I could get up there pretty easily.
You could, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna run up there. I'm gonna grab my laptop.
Okay, so give me
Yeah,
your athletics again.
I mean, I'm not like sprinting up there. Like I'm going at it.
Right. And this is
I'm going up there to grab it.
This is for something else as well.
Oh no. Hey, cool. I'm getting captured again.
No. So as you open the door, you realize, though, it's going to be a bit more difficult for you because the floor of your unit has become so unstable due to rumbles pounding of the supports that you take your first step and you hear the wood beneath your foot creak ominously, and you can hear the metal like rebars and things kind of bending and occasionally like bing, snapping and bouncing down somewhere far away. The wind is blasting through this broken window that's so many floors up, and everything just feels really insecure now.
Okay.
Your laptop.
I mean, like I'm assuming the whole building's not going to collapse. If worst comes to worst, I'll fall into the apartment below me, and it'll hurt. But...
Yeah, right. And so you see your laptop.
Huh?
It's still on the desk, or still on the coffee table. It has not really moved at all. And so you just give me one more athletics to grab it.
You fail. Oh, it's a 3 out of...
Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna say, do you have another penny? Do you want to use it?
Yeah, I guess so. I'll use my last penny to.
Oh,
there we
go. So you take a few steps, and your foot just starts to collapse through, like, into the floor or the ceiling of the unit below you, and it's like with all of your strength, instead of going down, you pull your foot back up, take a few steps forward, and grab your laptop and bolt towards the door the way that you came.
Yep.
Now that you're in the hall, the floor is much more secure here. The door is blasted inward. You can hear sirens in the distance from outside.
So what I want to do is first, like, shut down my laptop, pull out the battery, remove the flash drive from the laptop. I'm powering this thing down.
Okay.
No more transmitting of this thing.
Okay.
And the next thing I want to do is get the fuck out of this building.
All right. So yeah, you make it back down to the street as police, fire trucks, ambulances are pulling up to make sure no one's injured, things like that. You see a reporter approaching you in a hurry.
Can I go out the back door?
Yeah, sure.
I'm assuming my apartment has a back door.
Yeah,
I'm not
going
going
back door to the building. Yeah. So
Yeah. I'm not interested in the front door at this point.
You exit basically this apartment building is about a city block, so you exit the back of the building on the next street over, and you can hear the sirens and all of the commotion. And what are you doing?
Leaving? I don't really know. I have this thing with me. I really don't know where I'm going, but I know right now I probably don't want to be here.
Okay.
So I'm going to wander aimlessly, maybe coincidentally, towards like the mechanics shop or something.
That's totally what I was gonna say. So as you're just like wandering, perhaps distressed, you're worried about Megan. You have no idea where to go now in the city. Do you even go back to work? Like, what the hell is happening? And you would start passing a kind of a more blue collar district in the city where there's lots of auto body shops and things like that.
Actually, quick question.
Yeah.
What time is it right now?
It
That's
is
important.
in the evening because she came over for like date night dinner.
Right.
So it is
so there's
probably like 2 a.m. maybe.
okay. So there's not really people on the street at this point.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Now, something that you would notice about this mechanic shop is you can hear tools working. You can hear the lights are all on. Like it sounds like people are there.
Okay.
And doing something. Now, something that you would be aware of with this blue collar district, especially since they're all engineers and mechanics and working on things, there is not a lot of automated support in this, since they work on the automated portions of things. They don't have robots that do all of the menial tasks. Like this is a bit more of a human driven section.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of try peek in. I'm looking both for what the people are doing as well as any bronze. Am I muted? No.
No. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Phantom, I would love for you to join, honestly. Now, you said what were you gonna do? Sorry, Fun.
Yeah, I'm peeking into the shop. I'm looking to see A, what the people are doing, and B, if there's significant use of bronze in this shop, because sometimes you never really know.
I know how you are about bronze.
Sometimes they're using toxic metals. You don't really know.
You don't. So I'll actually give me a stealth first.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sneaking for sure. Oh. That's a 10.
Really are being stealthy.
You are
being
stealthy.
I've had a bad day.
You would come in, right?
Yep.
As you're peeking up, you realize you can sneak in and to get a better look at what's going on in the garage proper. You kind of peek through their window door and you don't see any copper, or bronze. Sorry, it was copper, right?
Bronze.
It's bronze.
Bronze. Sorry, God, I don't know why I wanted to be copper in my head, but bronze. You don't see any bronze. But what
I'm looking out for the cops too, but
is
coppers.
right? You do see.
Gotta watch out for the coppers. See?
You gotta look out for the coppers. See. So you would see this tiny, pint-sized little female working away at a slumped back transformer with their eyes locked on the TV. As it is talking about what's just happened a few blocks away. Now,
You said a transformer?
yes, you.
Cool.
And
I'm gonna scream. I got the big mouth. I saw something that freaked me out, and I'm like, "Oh shit!"
You scream,
and it's loud, and it's. I don't kind of. I'm not gonna quite run. I'm gonna get ready to start running, but I'm gonna be like, "Oh shit!" It's another one of these things. Unless, would I recognize it as not a Decepticon, or?
So, give me a common sense roll.
Yeah, okay. That would actually determine whether or not I scream.
Okay.
It's a 3.
You scream.
You scream.
I'm like, oh shit!
And throw yourself backwards, and what happens is, every automotive shop ever, it's got, a carousel with a bunch of, air fresheners on it and stuff, and you back into it, and it, clutters to the ground with a crash, just accompanying your scream.
As new car smell fills the room.
Right, and give me each of you guys in the room, so Lyrica and Ewan, give me a notice roll. And you're gonna get a +2 for this, since someone was not being quiet.
She screamed.
Oh, I was was that me? I'm sorry.
No.
Was that the new car smell comment? Was too much?
It was too much. Get roll for me.
Well, so it's being. Well, so it was being noisy.
All right.
All right, so you guys are both aware. Oh, wait, let me wait for you in here. Oh, you did. I see it. I'm sorry.
It should be a 9.
Yeah. Okay. So you both would hear the scream and crash, and even Cup looks over and he's like, "Seems we have an infestation."
I resemble that remark, and then she's gonna go and see.
Do I hear that comment?
Give me a notice. We'll see.
And yes, I do mean that she says I resemble that remark.
Right.
Oh, I hear it.
Oh my god, you hear it. But you also would hear.
What a time to get the rolling. What's it called?
Yeah, what
Aces.
was that?
It was a 16.
Yeah.
To notice this offhanded comment.
Oh yeah, and so, but you would also hear Kate's comment.
Oh, what's a kid? Oh, I resemble that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then you would hear Cub actually go, and then you would hear like creaking metal and stuff as he like sounds to be pushing himself up.
The Decepticon is pushing its way up.
Yeah, and
Hey.
so
I'm gonna scream incoherently about Decepticons, and I'm going to throw air freshener to the first person to walk through that, or first robot to walk through that door. So somebody's getting pelted with a new car smell tonight.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
God.
pina
I have one
colada,
object behind-
evergreen forest.
Oh, yeah, I have one object in me, and it smells amazing.
Okay,
Well,
so,
and so
that,
as soon as he starts moving, Kate is gonna be like, whoa, 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 wait until I'm back on the ground. Hold on. And then she's gonna scale down. And as soon as she gets to the ground, she's gonna try and like head him off. Because he's not supposed to be moving yet. He's not finished.
Yep. And as soon as you start screaming about Decepticons, I'm just running for you.
okay,
We need to not get as much attention as that would bring.
Yeah,
I
we
love
don't need that kind of attention on us. Thanks.
So that being said, we're gonna go to break for a little while, for 10 minutes, to let people get drink refreshes, take a little break, hang out with us. We will be back. We've got another hour and a half or so of gaming to do, and so I hope you guys are enjoying it. We will be back briefly. If all of you guys players don't turn off your cameras, just cover them up, it's fine, and I am going to switch us over.
I can mute my mic, right? That's
outside.
Real talk though, I have.
We are
I
back.
don't care. The chat can hear this. I actually have the weirdest food allergy. I'm allergic to bananas.
Oh.
And just bananas, which usually comes with a latex allergy.
Yeah.
I don't have a latex allergy.
What about
just-
avocado?
I haven't
Oh
tried
my
avocado
God.
in a long time, but I don't think so. I'm
Because
sure I've had
those
it at,
are
like,
linked
Mexican
together
food.
as well.
No, it's just bananas. I get super, like, I will go into anaphylaxis if I eat a banana at this point.
That's crazy.
Which is great because all my kids at work keep threatening to poison me with bananas.
So.
I'm sorry, I just made banana bread muffins too.
My heart. I actually haven't tried cooked bananas. I'm going to try it at some point and see if I die.
I have Benadryl on hand.
If I had a latex allergy, I don't know what I'd do. I don't know what I could eat.
But for Andy's sake, I'll do it after a stream that day, so like I have the whole week to recover in the hospital. It'll be all right.
Oh God. Don't do
See, and
that.
I'm allergic to Benadryl, so
Oh, yay. No, that's not helpful at all. Well, anyway, we're back, and I wanted to say, first and foremost, I never really went over how our viewers can get involved. 100 bennies, or 100 bits buys someone a benny. 500 bits buys everyone a benny. Now, if you choose, you can either choose to buy everyone a benny with 500 bits, or have me redeal adventure cards.
Which you should do. You should give us adventure cards. I love adventure cards. please procure me more adventure cards.
And so we are going to now go to the scene that we left off on. We'll let the everyone rushing to check on the screaming female. We're gonna let that hang for a minute. And
Oh, don't forget, I'm throwing air fresheners too. There's
Oh, yeah.
violence here.
throwing air pressure. Someone's getting hit with new car sign.
With luck, it'll be a car.
Right. And so you guys are dealing with that. We're gonna go back to Gail, who's still inside KSI Laboratories. So you've located where this room is, and you are on your way to that particular location. You hear the voice inside of your head say, "There are guards coming. Hide."
A little more warning would be nice, and now I'm like standing in the hallway, like
Now get
looking around for like I'm gonna pretend to be a trash can or something.
Now give me a first notice.
Try that, Dale. You got a brain implant. Will yourself into being a trash can. It might just work.
So you notice a utility closet that says like cleaning supplies or something on the outside of it. And you bolt for that. Now give me a stealth.
I'm doing the worst I've ever done in my life.
Well, at least you're scraping on by.
Oh,
you can
hey, you
do
are
that.
actually. So you go in there, and you like bolt for this security closet just as two armed guards move down the
Sorry.
hallway. Now,
And I look at myself in the broom closet in this lab coat with a badge that works, and I'm like, you gotta be the part, man. You gotta play the part, man.
okay, awesome. And so as they pass by, though, and you jump into this closet, you knock a broom handle that's in like a bucket, or a mop handle that's sticking out of a bucket, and
Dang it.
it starts to rattle around, and you catch it just as the guards go by. So you're like, be the part, kind of exhale deeply, and then you poke your head back out after they're gone, and you hear the voice in your head again, and it's like, thank you for endangering yourself for me. He's like, you can call me Sunstreaker.
Okay, Sunstreaker, don't make a habit out of it or anything. You're really stressing me out right now.
He's like, I believe that we're more connected than you could even know.
Well, how about wait till after this little adventure to tell me? Just get me out of here alive first, Obi-Wan.
And it's he's like, you'll find the laboratory on the third door on the right. You're almost there. So give me another stealth roll.
Actually, can I just say, like, I got myself amped up in the broom closet, and I was like, I gotta be better than this. So can I try like a persuasion roll to just look like a scientist that's supposed to be there to like?
Yeah, for sure.
Go down the hallway like
I'm
just
go with persuasion.
working.
Yeah, do it. Whoa.
Oh.
Well, that works. So you like convince yourself to not be sneaking around these hallways, right? And you move directly towards the door that he indicated. You use your key card on it. It pops open with a little...
And I'm like looking at the name card as I'm going in, and it says like, I don't know, like Rick Laster or something like that. And I'm like, all right, Dr. Rick Laster, astrophysicist. No, that's not right. Dr. Rick Laster, like trying to come up with like anything that sounds believable for me to be there. Like,
okay.
Now, as the door hisses open, and I'm like, oh, like trying to get my game face on.
Laboratory is the immediate room that you're greeted with is got a lot of computers. It has kind of a glass viewing window that's looking down onto what appears to be a large bay. Within the bay, you see this shining yellow and black vehicle with all of these things hooked up to it. There are men around it who are hosing it down with cryogenic blasts almost constantly. And you can see that one of the gauges on the computer is registering the monitor to well below freezing.
What do we say we turn the heat up a little bit? And I go to the computer and I'm like talking to myself like, okay, whip antenna. Okay, like trying to call that thing back out again to like hook to the computer because I'm like, how do I make that work? You know, like.
And so.
Super USB.
Give me your hacking again.
Is anybody imagining that first scene from, I forget which Spider-Man it was, but like he's doing all the different things and like nothing's
yes,
working?
I'm like trying. I'm like, and I'm getting like frustrated at myself because I'm like trying to.
So you can't. This thing is not coming out. Give me a spirit check now.
Ooh. Could be doing better on these rolls.
So well, it works. So you're getting frustrated and you just feel yourself getting angrier and angrier about it, and maybe it's even to a point that's unnatural for you to be so worked up about it, and you hear that voice in your head say, calm down. Think of it less as a tool and more as an extension of yourself. And
at least you didn't say use the Force.
When he says that, you kind of imagine moving it like you would your arm, like without thinking too much about it, but just willing it to move. And this thing comes out of your neck and laces down to the computer. Now give me your hacking again.
I got a 5.
Okay, and so Phantom, the 500 that you spent, the channel points, those are not the same as the bits. The super fan shout out, you tell me who you would like me to shout out to, and I will do it. That's basically how that works.
No, or you. Thank you for being a super fan.
Yeah, thank you for being a super fan. It's for you. You bought it for you.
Oh, Phantom gave us a super fan. I'm sorry, I had a call I had to take.
No, you're fine. So this thing branches out, and what did you give? A 5? Okay, so you do find the controller for the tanks that they're using, and you can tell that you can change the heat on them, so you begin, or the temperature on them, so you begin to switch them all from blasting like frozen air onto this to reversing it to like steaming hot heat. And they can't tell because they're still like emitting this steam. They're already hot in these suits, walking around, keeping this thing cold for hours on end. And there are bits of frost and ice that have formed in the crevices of this yellow car, and it begins to fall and break away as the ice begins to melt. And you hear that very hallmark noise, and maybe it's not so much audible as you can hear it in your head, and it is
Please tell me Gale just transformed into a trash can.
and you can hear it, and it's very subtle, but you are aware that the internal bits of this vehicle are starting to move and shift and change as you see the door on the passenger side furthest away from the men that are keeping it cold pop open. And that's funny, you two arguing it out in the chat. And so all of a sudden, this massive vehicle bursts up into a form, and what you see is the Autobot known as Sunstreaker. You can look him up. He's got kind of an unusual, more alien look to his faceplate. It's got a very angular side structure to it that, or blocky side structure to it, very much like Wheeljack in a way. And,
All right.
And
cool.
So
I'm looking up images right now.
Okay, so he unfolds and is standing there and immediately just starts knocking people back, right? Just the men go flying into computer panels and things like that. His cannons unroll like...
I have to stop him from killing these humans.
Okay, so yes you do. So run forward and give me a persuasion.
Uh, 4.
Perfect. Okay, so he is obviously furious, and you see that his eyes are actually red for a moment as he's knocking people around before he seems to, like...
And I'm like, whoa, easy there, Rainbow Bright. Put the guns down.
And he kind of lowers the gun slowly, unsure. Most of the men are unconscious or like rolling around on the floor groaning at this point, but none of them seem to be dead. And
I'm like taking handcuffs off their belts and like handcuffing them to like pipes that are around them.
okay,
You know?
okay, for sure. And so as you're doing that, you talk to him, you see his face shield go up with like the metallic shank, and his eyes go blue, and he's like, "I'm sorry, get in." And he like shifts down to the vehicle.
And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's some chick we've got to rescue. We just have to save her. She's in whatever cell block or lab block it was, but I think she's got bigger company there than we might be ready for. I left the loading bay door open a few feet. I could maybe use your help. As long as you promise me you're not going to go all T2 anymore, killing people.
And he's like, T2.
Never mind, just no more killing people. How about maiming, wounding? Fine, but no more killing.
He chuckles and he's like, now I could get behind some maiming. And he seems to be coming out of this like slumber, like cryo type sleep he was in. So you're starting to notice a bit more of his personality. And he's like, so are we going a traditional snatch and grab, or are you thinking you're going to be a distraction?
You want to use me as bait?
He's like,
did
no.
you see the size of that guy? How about I stay inside the car and you do some of your fancy big robot stuff and leave all the little robot stuff to me.
Okay, awesome. And so we are now going to, and he's like, well, which way is the room that she's being held in? Can't believe I'm doing this for a human.
Ish.
And he's like,
You saw, I have a fancy like space lasso USB thing.
and he's like, great.
Space lasso.
He's like, space lasso? I'm unaware of what you're talking about. And he's like, regardless, get inside. And the door
drive?
opens.
And I'm like sitting behind the steering wheel like, do I get to drive?
And he's like, no. And collapses the steering wheel in so you can't use it.
I'll have you know I'm so and so on my badge, and you should respect
and he's
my
like,
authority.
no, you are Gail Rethridge, part of the HM project, which I hope to figure out. I think that's what happened to my twin brother, and I will find him. And then...
So you know what happened to me. Okay, drive.
And also save my lover, please.
And so he starts does one quick loop, like massive loop, to get a feel for the size of the room, and then floors it, repeating the loop until he flies up over a mechanical table, like drives up over the mechanical table using it as a ramp, crashes through the like viewing window in the computer room and bursts through the wall. Now you're driving down the wide hallways of KSI Laboratories, and the fluorescent lights are like gleaming on the roof as you tear down this hallway. He skids, leaving like skid marks on the white tile floor as he takes a left heading towards the room where you indicated. Now you would hear though from inside the vehicle that the building alarms are starting to sound. Now we're gonna go to Lyrica and Ewan and Flip.
For the record, everything that just happened is exactly what being inside a self-driving car is like. I've been there. It's terrifying. That is an accurate representation.
Okay, awesome. Good. And so you end up making all of this crashing noise. You've got people coming to check on you.
You bet.
Now, why don't you give me an athletics, Kate?
See if I die and trying to come down off of this guy.
You're gonna get a face full of fresh car.
Is this coming down or is this running out?
So you go to run into that room where you heard the scream, like you said, and as you open the door, you get a face full of air fresheners, and it is like stunning for a minute. You're like, what in the what? Like it's like smack.
That combined with
she's-
the incoherent screaming. I mean,
So like she's stunned for a moment and she's like, that's okay, that gives Andrew time to get past her.
Totally. And so Andrew, you kind of move past her, and before you see a female. Well, Flip, why don't you tell him what Tetra looks like right now, and kind of yeah.
Tetra's tall. She's got kind of like dirty blonde hair. She looks worse for wear. There's some blood on her shirt. She's not wearing her lab coat because she was at home. I don't really know what she'd be wearing, but she looks like she's been through it, and she's completely incoherent right now, just sobbing and screaming, and she's 100% sure you're about to kill her. So she'll give you another handful of air fresheners. I'm assuming there's more air fresheners.
Oh yeah, you knocked over a whole carousel of them. So she's like crying.
And
and
I'm gonna
screaming.
scream about like, get away from me, Decepticon. I don't want to die. Go away.
And you hear this grumbling voice behind him go, Decepticon? I'm no Decepticon.
I don't even. Can I give a spirit check to know if I'd even like be?
Yeah.
Believe
for
it.
sure.
Okay, yeah. On a 6, I'll hear it. I don't know if I believe it, but I'm
Right.
at least coherent enough to.
So as Andrew comes around the corner, he's being pelted with air fresheners, pine scent, lemon fresh. Like...
We're going for lemon fresh.
Stop that.
What scent did I get?
You got new car.
Oh, I smell like a new car. That's okay. I smelled like an old car just a few
Right,
minutes
so this
ago,
is-
an old military Jeep. So this is an upgrade.
Exactly.
Someone's got to get fresh vanilla, and someone has to get evergreen pine.
That's it, yeah.
As soon as Kate can recover, she's not going to go towards Tetra because it seems like she's at this point way too defensive and way too loud. So she's gonna kind of do the calm down movement. And,
How old is Kate?
She's 16, 17,
Okay,
and
so
she's
still, like,
tiny.
A kid.
Like-
Okay.
She's like 4'9" and a beanpole. She is not at all threatening.
Right. So I'll take a second look and be like, what are kids doing with Decepticons?
She's like, calm down. There's no Decepticons. We're not here to get you. We just don't want anything out there to hear you and come this way. Can we talk about this logically?
And then you hear, boo, 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 and you see
What?
you see a little bright blue eyes peeking out from around Kate's leg.
Oh, good. It's
Sure.
RGB2. Savage Star
And
Wars
Kate's like,
started early.
and Kate's like, shortwave, you're not helping.
And he's like, boo.
Oh no, he looks pretty harmless.
That doesn't look like the Decepticons that just tried to kill me. I say aloud.
And she's
Oh.
like,
Because
he's
I have
not
to
gonna
do
kill
my
with
you.
you then.
What?
Well, I'm assuming they're working together because that's where they went.
Who went what?
On
Can
the
we
news,
move
they
inside?
went to KSI. Come in.
I will tentatively follow. I will clutch my laptop.
Well, and as she's walking by and shortwave's there, she's gonna go, and I promise you, he's not gonna kill you. He kills some awesome beats.
And when she says that, Shortwave is like, beep beep beep. And like he does like a little like break dancing thing on the ground.
I've sized up this robot as fun but useless. We're good.
Yep.
And as she's walking back in, Kate's like,
Which does
Okay,
actually
back to
put
work.
me at ease. It does.
Once
Tetra seems, once the goofiness starts, Tetra seems a little bit okay. These people are not actively trying to murder my face.
Now, when you move in, you see a female who is maybe of Latin descent. She's got choppy hair that's side shaved and lots of funky colored streaks in it. She's got like a nose piercing and lots of ear piercings, wearing like a sleeveless shirt and has tattoos everywhere, and that's Verity. And she's like, she kind of wipes her hands on a rag and she's got her arms crossed over as she's leaning against a work table. And she looks at you and she's like, another friend of yours? Why is she dressed in KSI lab gear?
I'm not dressed in KSI lab gear. I went home and changed.
Oh,
I'm a
okay,
civilian,
okay.
but-
All right, so Nick said, she's like, another
There's
friend.
nothing on me that indicates KSI
Okay,
right
good.
now.
Okay, so she like
I don't
looks
know.
at
The
you.
flash drive might be KSI labeled. It's my personal laptop, but the flash drive I did receive from Megan.
Yeah, and
That's your call.
But you're it's not like you're wearing that around your neck either. So
I mean,
she-
I'm clutching my laptop and like, well, no, I guess I didn't say I took it out and like, okay, so yeah, nothing on me is immediately KSI.
Right, and so she's like, she kind of looks around, or she looks at you and she's like, a friend of yours?
and
Wow.
Kate's like,
No, but she saw him, so better to have her here talking to us than running away talking to KSI.
And so
KSI. Why? What?
Okay,
I mean, I work for KSI, but why would I go and talk to them at this point?
you what?
I work.
you
for
what?
Oh, I've got the big mouth trait. Oh yeah, that's intentional. I work.
Verity at that picks up a massive wrench and takes a step forward.
I scream.
And I'm like, what is a KSI employee doing creeping around my shop in the middle of the night?
Trying
Why
not
were
to
they
die.
running from a Decepticon?
Wait.
To be clear, I still am like just. I look like I just got in a fight with a Decepticon.
Right, totally.
I kind of smell like a weird mix of blood, trash, and vanilla.
trash
There's
and
blood like
vanilla.
all up in my back. Like I don't look or smell great.
I love
A new
it.
scent by Ralph Lauren.
Blood, trash, and vanilla.
and,
Blood, trash, and vanilla.
and all Kate can think is, did you hit your head?
I think about it for a second, and I don't think so.
So as
Oh,
this
and so
happens,
And Kate's like, maybe we shouldn't threaten her until we know what's going on. We definitely don't want her screaming.
Very much into the not threatening me part.
so with that, Verity kind of slips her wrench into her back pocket with the rag that she washes her greasy hands off, or wipes her greasy hands off on, and she looks at you and she's like, so you were at the center of that attack downtown just a little while ago?
Well, I guess so, yes. My apartment is downtown, and I was attacked. And they took Megan, and I found a signal, and I don't even know if I still have a job, and my apartment is, oh my God, I'm never going to get my deposit back, and
She's like,
my shirt is stained with blood, and I smell like a dumpster because I've been in a dumpster, and I have this laptop, and you can't open this laptop. It has a signal, and if you open it, they're going to come for us.
and Cup at that stands up, and you hear the creaking metal. It's like boom, boom, and he's like, signal.
I'm gonna make a vigor check as to whether or not I just pass out at this point.
You do not pass out.
On a 5, now I'm feeling wobbly.
Yeah, right. So that's hilarious. So you kind of go a little flushed as he stands up, and
Oh yeah, my face pale, like just terrified.
right, and
Today is a bad day.
Shortwave would wheel a chair up into the back of your legs, so you just sit down into it.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
And then he kind of looks up and goes, beep boop. And
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I will, through stutters and stammers, relay everything I know about the signal.
He's like, may I?
And how the Decepticons showed up right after, and
He's like, may I analyze that signal on my
no,
own?
no. If you turn it on, they will come and they will kill all of us. No.
Do you or don't you want to find out what's happened to your friend?
I mean, yes.
Then I will need that signal.
And you're sure they won't come? There were 3 of them, and I describe in fairly decent detail, I'd say, the different Decepticons, the one with the cannon and the eye, and the bird, and the panther, and
He's like, sounds like Soundwave and his mini bots. Well, you're lucky to be alive. He's like,
and Kate's like,
I
those are
pulled-
mini bots? Those are not mini bots. That's a mini bot. And she points at
I pulled a
Shortwave.
pipe out of the panther, and then I
um,
escaped in a dumpster.
he's like, that was very smart. I'm sure that Ravage is licking its wounds right now. He's like, that being said, and holds up both of his arms, and they like curl in and then extend into like massive cannons with like one with like a rotary thing on it, you know. And he's like, but I'm not scared of Soundwave
I look
or
at
his
guns.
little pets.
Look at mine. Look at his guns. I am so outgunned here.
Well,
He's-
and Kate tries to back up. God, what's his name?
Cup? That one?
Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
K-U-P.
She tries.
He's actually the one standing right behind Andrew's art on the page with the cigar and everything. That's Cup.
The dark.
The one in the
The
middle,
dark green one?
basically.
Now I gotta go.
Oh wait.
I don't even.
Blue one.
Yeah. He's
I don't
kind of,
see it.
yeah. He's like that military blue-green the vehicles sometimes are.
I'll just load a picture of him.
Oh, I see him. Okay,
Yeah,
got it. It's
okay.
the military blue green. It's not the army green. It's like the blue
yeah,
green. Okay.
yeah, like what their
I see.
jets and things are sometimes, you know.
And so she's gonna try and back him up as the, you know, honestly, if you want to know what's going on, but you don't want that signal to be out there and call anybody, your best bet is him. He's the only one that's going to be able to do that without the chance of it getting out, because he knows what he's working with.
And you point to Shortwave.
No, to Cup.
Shortwave is like, yeah.
I handed it to Shortwave can have the flashlight.
No, absolutely not handing it to Shortwave. I'm sorry. I tried with him, but I did not have the right equipment to make sure that he is all there. There are a few screws loose. He's a work in progress.
All right. Okay, fine. And I reach into my pocket and I pull out, my flash drive, and I kind of reluctantly hand it to Cup.
And he says, thank you, and kind of opens a compartment in his forearm and slides it in and slides the compartment closed again. And
It was on my laptop too, but I pulled the battery. Do you need my laptop? Or I pulled the battery. I pulled it.
and he's like, no, this should be sufficient. And
Is my laptop going to be okay?
he's like, to be determined. And he's like, interfacing with your technology can be somewhat difficult. And so he sits there for a minute, and then you
And
hear...
Kate's gonna go back to trying to work on him, as long as he's not preventing her from doing that, because
Okay.
if this is going to bring something, she wants him in as peak shape as possible
Perfect.
before shit goes south.
So you've done significantly well at healing him. He's got one more wound that needs to be addressed, so you can make your repair roll.
Correct?
And then I am going to give you... So you hear all of these sounds as he's going through the signal.
I am not in the Roll20 game, actually, I realized.
And so you hear him going over these and this, like, womp, 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 womp. And he's like, well, this is unfortunate news, he says. And then after a moment, he ejects the laptop, and it's...
Flash drive.
Or the flash drive, and it's like smoking a little bit. And he's like, I think it should be fine. And he hands it back to you. He's like, don't worry, they weren't actively watching. But, he's like, perhaps you were being followed long before you activated this. And he said, because this is a message coming from thousands of light years away.
Okay, so
What does the
why is
message
it
say?
unfortunate?
He's like, because it speaks of a time
Oh no, the music went dramatic.
He's like, it speaks of a time when our world was young. And we were just bordering on expansion to other planets, establishing life. Somewhat mimicking the the Americans, as you call them, space race of the 60s and 70s. And so as he's telling you that, he says, our species met a long time ago, or our worlds met a long time ago. Your world was part of something somewhat of a terraforming. This terraforming was started by one of Megatron's right-hand men, unbeknownst to him. He's like, Shockwave terraformed this planet, and now he plans on opening a space bridge and bringing all of the Decepticons here to harvest the strange alien ore that was discovered and used in much of this city's technology, as well as KSI's technology. When they arrive, everything that is built with that metal will belong to them. This entire city will become alive with the spark that created our existence.
You mean my laptop and my Prius too?
And he's like, everything that has been touched by KSI Laboratories harbors this metal or something that is a man-made version of it, copy of it. He's like,
Okay.
So the Decepticons are just using KSI.
they're using KSI to build them an army, yes.
And I
Does
take it
most
Well, we have-
whenever
KSI
things...
We have to
No.
warn KSI. There's no way they could know.
He said, I am unsure if that is true, Dr. Batara.
Hey, I didn't introduce myself to you.
And he's like, you don't have to. I can... He's like, he shows the flash drive again. He's like, I just had access to your database.
That's terrifying. But KSI is the good guys. They make all this technology. They've made this city wonderful. There's no way they could know. I've worked for them for I don't. We actually didn't discuss how many years I worked for them, but it's been a lot of years. I've worked for them for so many years, and we've made such wonderful progress for humanity. There's no way they could know. We have to warn them.
Well, not all of them, maybe.
And I go into
the ones
detail
in
about like
tower?
all of the projects I've done, and most of them are probably not interesting, but
Yeah,
I will spend some time rambling about how great KSI is.
totally. And he's like, well, unfortunately, perhaps KSI is being used.
And that's why I have to call my boss.
And he's like, well, you mustn't do it here, because if you are wrong,
Well,
we are all in danger.
Well, I mean, like, think about it. Kate's like, wait. You want to call your boss, but you found something at your work that had Decepticons coming after you. You don't even know if you still have your job, and you want to call your boss? Do you want to tell them where you are?
I'm not supposed to have that signal. Shit, I'm not supposed to have that signal.
And do remember, the Decepticons went back to KSI.
Oh,
And there was no military force with them.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
they chose to go back, and there was no resistance.
Well, we have to at least go back and get my friends and Megan. We have to say it. There's
like,
people there, and I know they're good people. Okay, maybe KSI is evil. I think they've done some great good. I don't know, but I have friends there that they need to be warned.
Cup would reach out gently and place like this massive hand on your shoulder and be like,
My terror is obvious, but I don't scream.
right?
But I'm like,
he would be like, I will do everything in my power to help your friends. As Optimus Prime wanted, no harm shall come to a human by our or any Transformer's hands.
okay, all right, okay, yes, okay.
And that is how
Okay.
you shall know them.
And so he would be like, I'm sorry, but thank you for your quick work at patching this wound. Perhaps I should head to KSI. And then Verity would step forward and she'd be like, no, you're not going alone.
I know my way around the place. I can help, I guess.
I can help.
We need to save
Sounds
people.
so torn.
So with
So-
that,
all right,
sorry,
we're-
go ahead. Ewan, what were you gonna say?
I think stealth might be the better option here, because A, we know Soundwave's in there, and B, the military's probably working with them, and we don't want to fight both of those at once, even if you do have rather impressive guns.
And he's like, I agree. And he's like, but we must help this human. And at that, you would hear him slide right into his. And now before you is a very Hummer-esque Jeep that is just waiting to, like, for you guys to get in. The doors pop open.
I immediately question emissions. It's environmentally friendly.
And he laughs at that, and you realize that the cigar that he's had been smoking is now this like smoking tailpipe on the Jeep itself. And so He's like, well, we haven't got all night. All aboard. Who's coming aboard?
If we stop at my my apartment, I can grab my my key card. That might get us in.
He's like, not a bad idea. I have concern that your friend does not have much time.
I don't know how, like, geography-wise, is my apartment, like, out of the way or not.
I mean, you wandered for a little while at night, so it's probably all within the, like, residential district of the city.
I mean, it's up to you guys. If you think... I turn to the group and ask for their...
So, I'm going to pause there and go back to Gale now. And so, Gale, you are...
coming together.
You have climbed into this vehicle and you are racing down the hallway, and it skids to a halt a few doors away from where the female that you saw is being held. As you approach, give me a stealth if you get out of the vehicle.
I do, and I want to play an adventure card that might throw a little bit of a curveball.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and do the stealth roll first. Oop, good, perfect. Here we go. Let me just throw this card out here. Maybe this will help.
What? You crit fail your stealth and then play betrayed?
Okay, so...
Just to add a little excitement to the story.
Oh dear.
And that's more chaotic than I do.
I love it. It's kind of perfect. So...
I mean, I critically failed. I was like, what better time?
As you go to look, Dr. Lane looks right up at you as you peek in the door, and she's like, test subject number 3 is out of his unit. How did that happen? And then Ravage, who had been being repaired by Soundwave, rises up, and you hear this like low mechanical growl, and it looks right at you through like the window into this laboratory, and leaps at you. Now give me a athletics to try to jump out of the way.
You know that transformer that was helping you is going to betray you, right?
I hope not, but okay, well, that wasn't awful.
There's nobody else in the scene to betray you. You have no other friends.
Yeah.
I was thinking your dear sweet lovey might not be as trustworthy.
Don't you dare. I will never forgive you.
There are other people in the room.
Don't you? Yeah, but she's not a trusted friend to Gale. There's only one friend to Gale in this room.
There is. That being said, though, what did you get on your agility? I always say that being said.
5.
5. So you duck just as Ravage comes bursting through the glass and lands on the ground in the hallway behind you. Now, you...
Are there the same ice gun things that were keeping Starstreaker cold? Or Sunstreaker cold? And in this lab room?
Give me
area?
a notice. Now, Dr. Lang, you would know. Gale would know. And she was the one who talked you into joining.
Signing up for the program.
Up for the program. And so it is a bit of a betrayal by her, because you realize that as you make this move to grab a like cryo cannon, she raises a gun on you, and she's like, and Now, here's something interesting. Give me another notice roll.
Okay. 5.
Okay, so you would notice as she raises this gun at you that her hand is trembling and her eyes seem to be tearing up a little bit. And she's like, "Don't make me shoot you."
Do I have the cryo gun yet? Was I able to make
Yeah.
that with my
Yeah.
athletics?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, well, don't make me shoot you. And then I just like freeze her hand with the gun.
So give me your fire or shooting.
Oh, I can actually use something now, I think. Is this technically the first round of combat?
Yeah. You could say
Oh, here it comes. No soaked.
Ouch. That one could leave
You
a
cannot soak wounds from her.
mark. Right. Gotcha.
You can choose between 3 adventure cards, keep one of your choice, and play an extra adventure cards this session.
Oh, so let me give you 3 cards. And you choose which one to keep and discard. Oh, that went to Andrew, sorry. And you discard the other 2 that you're not keeping. And so while you're thinking about that, though, did you?
I think I need one more card. I only got 2. Right? Or right?
No, you get 3, and you can choose which
all right.
one. So just discard, and then let me look here. So you would definitely hit her and freeze her hand with it. And she cries out in pain, and she's like, "Don't do this! They're going to kill us all." And
Well, I'm not gonna do nothing. I just froze your hand so you wouldn't shoot me. Sit down, and I could take. Well, I guess I still have a giant cat thing that's gonna try to attack
yeah,
me.
exactly. And there is that.
So I freeze her feet too, so she
Okay.
can't move, and then I go to take my aim on the cat.
Okay, so go ahead and give me another shooting.
Catbot's dream of electric.
How do I
What's that?
discard the? Do I just drag him to the chat window to discard the other 2 cards?
Yeah, that's fine.
Do catbots dream of electric catnip?
I wonder what catbots dream about. They chase cat mice.
Okay, I discarded both of those.
Okay.
So.
Alright, so you're keeping that one now. Do you want to play a card before we continue?
You used a Benny too.
Did I? Oh,
Yes.
I did not mean to do that.
Let me get
Can I
that
take
back.
that back?
Oh, it's because this perfect timing card takes a Benny, so.
Oh, I was just trying to discard that.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
that's
It
fine.
auto spent a Benny, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There we go.
Alright. So, do you want to play any card right now?
Oh, can I play another one? It's
Yeah.
actually to help you this time. That one. Your hero finds a friend or acquaintance who helps him in his current situation.
Oh,
Like
perfect.
Megan! Ah!
I love it. So, as you are going to raise the gun on Ravage, give me another athletics check.
Okay.
So, 5. So, you, as you're turning the gun on Ravage. You blast Ravage with the cold, and he kind of like stumbles back and like roars at you. You would then all of a sudden Razorbeak is behind you and grabs you by the shoulders and pulls you back and throws you onto the ground. And you don't take any damage from it because you did succeed on your agility check, so you land and kind of roll with it with surprising reflexes. And so you fumble the cryo gun, and it like rolls across the ground as Razorbeak then swoops around, and you see that his wings cannons flip forward on them as he's hovering in front of you. And as this is happening, all of a sudden from behind, a blast of cryo air hits him, and she's like, "Ha! Bird be gone!" in a can. And it's Megan, and she's come to, and she's like, "Come on, let's go!" and grabs your hand, right? Just as Sunstreaker has shifted into his bot mode, bursts through the wall, blasts Soundwave back, then, in almost like one rolling motion, shifts right back down into the yellow sports vehicle, and the car doors pop open as Megan is pulling you into the vehicle too.
Can I play the one other card real fast?
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this as we make our getaway. Go, get over here.
Oh, that's perfect.
Just as like just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, no, that's good, because as that's happening, so Soundwave tries to go to recoup and is too distracted by everything that's happened. Megan probably sprays him right in the face with the cryo tank so he can't see, and then pulls you into the vehicle, and you tear out of there.
And I would look at Megan and say, "Well, I can't believe you didn't say, 'Come with me if you want to live.'"
And she's like, I don't know who you are, but I think I'm gonna like you. And she
Come with me.
And I'm like, woohoo! And I like roll down the window and I just like shoot them all the bird as we like drive off.
Right. And so with your connection to the system, you feel it dwindling as you move out of kind of their wireless connection radius, but you mentally flip that switch on that bay door to close so they can't pursue you, and that is your lucky break. And
Unlucky break. I don't think you're getting your student loan aid this time.
Yeah.
No. All of this for nothing.
And so you end up. Sorry, that hurts. I got a scratch on my elbow and it hurts so bad.
Did you get in a fight with a cat?
It was. I honestly don't remember. I have scratches all over my arms right now, so I don't know who did it. I can't remember. But she, like, the vehicle is tearing down the street now away from KSI Laboratories. Now, as you guys are all back at the warehouse, you would hear the radio come on inside as he's pulling out of, as Cup's pulling out of the garage warehouse. And on his way to Flips, you hear an unfamiliar voice come up, and it's like, Cup, you out there? I'm picking up a reading. It has your signature on it. And he's like, well, I'll be damned if it's not Sunstreaker. I thought you were dead. where's your brother? And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, where are you? I need help. I've got someone following, and I have 2 humans. And he's like, what? Did someone feed them after midnight or something? Like, yeah, we've got quite a car full ourselves. And he's like, meet us here. And he just gives the garage address. And within a few moments, you guys are all standing outside now. Cup explains to you that Sunstreaker, another Autobot, has just informed him that he is in trouble and fleeing KSI Laboratories with 2 humans.
What kind of humans?
Ish.
And he's like, we'll see in a moment. And just as that happens, this yellow and black, glossy, super high-tech looking, it's like Lamborghini's 2045 model or something, and it like rolls up, and once Gale and Megan hop out,
I scream Megan's name and run up to her and give her a hug, and I go in for the kiss.
Okay, and
I saved her.
I saved her. I don't even notice this guy.
And so she would totally like start crying when she sees you and run up and give you a hug and be like, oh my god, Tetra, I thought you were dead.
You were dead.
She's like, something's going on, something's not right.
We were attacked by Decepticons, and then I fell in a dumpster, and then I made my way here.
And she's like, and they brought me to KSI.
To do what?
She's like,
oh no, the music changed again.
She's like, I think that they were going to make me part of that testing program.
And I start like scratching my head. I'm like, I gotta start to like back away and get back in the car. Like,
didn't they give out a picture of him?
They did. On the news.
Because he was one of the missing people on the news.
Uh-huh.
So would we recognize him?
Give me a common knowledge.
I mean, like, I don't think I made that knowledge roll in the first place, so I probably wouldn't know, but somebody should.
Yeah, wasn't I, like, very aware of that article?
You were. You were,
Did you still want me to make my common knowledge, or...?
Yeah, you would know, you would remember that it was one of the files that you accidentally hacked into.
I didn't really go into detail on that file.
Yeah, Project HM, and it said Gale Ruthridge.
Yeah, but do I recognize his face, or?
That's what you need the common knowledge for, because you didn't dig too deep, but he has been on the news.
The only one. Caitlin's like, I have no idea what he is or why I know you, but you look really fucking familiar.
I get that a lot, I think. Did I hear I was on the news? I've been gone for a while and I feel a little different. I got this. Well, just nobody make me angry. You wouldn't like me if I'm angry. I have like a tentacle thing, and it's dangerous.
And you hear Sunstreaker go, yeah, look out for his space lasso.
Yeah, you're not cool enough to be the Hulk, I'm afraid.
And I'm like trying to like make it come out again, like just seeing if I can.
There's so many things that Kate is just like, oh, I want to know everything. She's like, really, show me. And then, but then, like, Sunstreaker talks, and she's like, oh God, there's another one. Do you need repair? Can I check? And she like runs over.
And he's like looking down at you, like there's a bee like swarming him or something, like lifting his feet up, like, Someone get this one, he says.
You know, we'll
She is
get a
the
bigger
infestation.
child harness, Tetra.
Tetra is way too busy, like, relaying everything that happened with Megan and just being inconsolable again, so...
And oh yeah, I meant to say Megan would kiss you back too, and like
Yes!
be
I
really
love her!
happy to see you. Now her shoulders, her like blouse is all torn, and you can see that the wounds in her shoulders are pretty deep.
I can fix that.
And now you have my attention.
Yeah, there you go. And she's like, "Ow, okay."
Yeah, let's get.
And I'm like, whoa, you don't look so good. Are you all right? You should sit down. And I start like, I'm like, does anyone have a medical kit or anything?
And Verity would come out and be like, "Yeah, everyone get in the garage. I don't know what the hell you've gotten me into,"
Poor
she
Verity.
says to Cup.
Or Verity.
Possibly the end of the world, but at least you've got advance warning.
And so you guys
Hey, you're
all
not
get
bored
into
anymore.
the garage. Why don't you give me a medicine check, Gail?
Healing, right? I guess.
Healing, yeah, sorry. Too much World of Darkness now.
Could I use a Benny to re-roll that?
Or conviction. You also have conviction that you can add to it, which is a D6. You can choose either one, but I think everybody has 2 convictions. So you can use a Benny to re-roll, but if you, if you crit fail, then you can't re-roll that.
Right.
But if you have, that's a good roll.
So
and
try
there's
to
a
roll
chance-
another.
If you
D6.
add conviction to it, you just pull that conviction.
Mm-hmm.
You should just be able to pull it over and drop it into the chat like you would a
Yeah.
Benny.
Oh, okay.
And then just roll a D6, and that will add to it.
Yep, and so you got a 9. So you actually...
Wait, did I? Where did you see that?
Because you
No,
did...
that's my common knowledge. He needs to roll another D6. That's
No,
a 5 plus
well, it
whatever
rolled
is.
the conviction for him on my end.
Oh,
Did it? Oh,
Yeah.
because I didn't see anything.
Yeah, so...
it doesn't show us what we
Oh,
get.
it doesn't? That's weird.
No.
So you got a 5 and you got a 4 conviction, so you've got 9.
Okay.
So that's a raise.
Yep,
That's good.
and so you heal 2 of her wounds. You manage to start patching her, and they're deep. Like, she should probably be on oral antibiotics or something. She has lost a significant amount of blood, but you patch these wounds up, and you do a pretty good job for her. She's going to need to change. She looks tired, and...
Y'all, I've done as much as I can do, but she needs a real doctor.
And she'll be okay without going to a real doctor, actually. You would know that, but she needs rest more than anything, probably. And so, as you guys are kind of settling down and get into the garage, and he's patched her up, Megan puts her head in Tetra's lap as she, starts to fall asleep. And you see the teleprompter come on. All of you give me a notice. Or the, holographic TV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tetra is not noticing anything. She has her
Tetra
lover's
doesn't give a
head in
shit.
her lap.
She's got her attention where she wants it.
Maybe I got a 7. Maybe my android part of me is in overdrive right now.
Tetra is also falling asleep.
That's perfect, because it's probably 4 in the morning. And so, let's see. So really, it kind of makes sense that Andrew and Gail are the ones awake as the females curl up on the couch and fall asleep. And Kate,
Hey, I got a 5.
You got a 5? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see that. And so you are... Obviously, Kate is just too excited about all of this technology around her, and she keeps, trying to, peek under parts of Sunstreaker as he's sitting there, and, look at just the general workings of Cup when he's transformed. And Cup seems to have passed out with a cigar hanging in his lips, and he's snoring. But Sunstreaker is honed in on the TV and kind of leaning forward, and that's what draws Kate's attention. And Gail and Andrew were already just kind of sitting there like, okay, now what? And you see something strange on the TV. It is a news report coming from Egypt. And you see a massive metal spike rising up out of the earth. And it is massive. You can get images. It's a strange phenomenon that's just started to happen in the last 24 hours. And there's
Where is this report coming from?
It's coming from Egypt. And
I'm like, hey, pointing at the screen, like, don't they normally just have pyramids and sand?
And it looks like a wicked, almost finger. It's curved and coming out like
Wait a minute, that metal spike doesn't belong there.
And you can tell it's so big due to references in the footage. Like, there is a helicopter flying around one of the topmost points of this spike, and it dwarfs the helicopter in size.
And Kate's gonna look at that and look at shortwave and look at the TV and look at shortwave, and she goes, "I think that's an antenna."
And he kind of rolls forward and stands up and looks at the TV and is like, boop, 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 and like shrinks down and then rolls away from the TV and under the couch.
Oh, if it's not an antenna, it's something bad.
Sorry. And we are going to end there.
Yep.
Bum, bum, bum.
Of course, we learn of the apocalypse coming, and then it immediately starts before we get prep time.
No.
Didn't even get to put aside cans of beans or anything.
So that is, yes, we will conclude that. You have this large structure coming up in Egypt. Thank you guys all for coming and viewing. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, viewers.
Yeah,
yes,
thank you.
That was fun. Thank you guys for a first live Twitch stream for me. That was awesome.
With cameras and tech, yeah, I'm figuring it out. It's still a little bumpy, but I'll get there. Just hang with me, guys. So
you're doing fine.
And
you're getting better and better.
Oh, good. Yay. So I hope to see you all next week, and also keep your eye out on our other streams. We have Unpaid Bounties going tonight.
6 hours from now.
6 hours from now, so definitely tune in and watch some sci-fi Star Wars based hijinks.
Emphasis on the hijinks.
Emphasis on the hijinks.
Yeah, it's like Star Wars hijinks.
And then I guess Tuesday nights we have the Tales from 2000
yes
game, which is like high school drama, supernatural mixed with like any high school drama you could ever hope for.
You're in that one too, aren't you, Erica?
Oh yeah, I'm in all four.
You're in all of the streams.
Yes, I'm in all of the streams right now. And then Fridays, so just last night we had Neogate New York, which is like it's a 5e D&D game, but it's like more modern detective kind of situation, like a rifts open up in Manhattan, and so everybody's there together. And we're all detectives, and we're tasked with fixing shit that goes wrong.
It's a lot of fun, so definitely check out.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely check out some of our other streams if you guys are around and enjoyed this. We will be back next week. Sometimes we also play video games on the stream too, and we'll play with our viewers. So we'll decide tonight and just join our Discord server, and you guys can hop in and see like what we're up to, and we may play Jackbox one night, or
Anybody wants to do some Dead by Daylight?
Dead by
Looking for Dead by
Daylight.
Daylight. Andy and I
Yeah.
have been up on that.
Yeah. So
Could also go for some Deep Rock.
yeah, we love supernatural type shows as well, so you'll see a couple of those on here. Yeah, really, I'm super excited
a spooky ghost.
to keep going. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful afternoon. We will see you all next time.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.